Alright, what's up guys? We're here at a JB Performance new location, and we're back on the dyno with the Red C6. As you can see there, this is the car that has the BTR Stage 4 cam and the new BTR Equalizer 3 intake. So we finally did all the modifications that we needed to install it and get it to work, and now we're finally going to get to do the final tune and see what it does. First things I noticed was that it does sound, the car itself, a lot louder. I don't know if a lot, but definitely it sounds louder. It has like a raspier tone to it. I didn't expect the intake to change the sound of the car, but maybe it did. Anyway, in just a bit, we're hooking it up right now. We're gonna do some pulls, see what she does. So just to show you guys the install really quick, came out clean. One of the things that we mentioned last time was that we had to get a valley cover that does not have the PCV provision there because it was hitting the intake. So we got one that deletes that, and we have the low profile bolts on there. So since we're not pulling a crankcase pressure out of there, so we're venting it through the valve cover with a Mighty Mouse catch can, and the intake has regular vacuum provision. It came out clean. Fuel rails look nice. We did have to do some minor trimming to the cowl. I don't know if you can see it in there, but we did have to cut some little notches for the intake to fit. So it's not exactly a bolt-on on the C6. You are going to have to cut a little bit out the cowl, but it's nothing that you should even be able to see. So this car's on E85. You see the line came out pretty clean. Crossover fuel lines back there, you can't even see it. So pretty clean install. We kept all the stock EVAP lines, so all of that is like stock. The manifold pressure sensors right there, the map. We got the heat shield on this time on the intake, and we have the what's that? One of the PCV provisions for the oil tank, and that's it. Actually, it's not the oil tank. I was talking like if it's a dry sump. That's just one of the PCV lines for fresh air. So everything with a little bit of massaging and stuff, everything will bolt on. So if you have a stock car, you can keep all the lines and make everything work. So as you can see, it's a pretty clean install. It's a nice looking intake. Fits in there nicely. Once you've made the changes that you got to do. Another option is shorter motor mounts. That'll bring the intake a little lower for it to fit better. That's an option too. So we just finished strapping it up, and in a few minutes we'll get on with the tuning. Alright guys, so as you saw, we just did some pulls. The car sounded very mean, but here's the skinny. At the top it made the same 503 horsepower. This is versus the last dyno run from a few weeks ago. On my first video was 503 that it maxed out. Yeah, I think that's what it is, 503. So the top end is the same. However, the blue line is the BTR. The red line is my ported LS3. That is a 44 horsepower difference. Now, sorry, we don't have RPM yet. That's at 110. I'm gonna say that's probably between 5,500 and 6,000 RPM around there. Yeah, 5,500. That's probably where you would intersect with the torque. So you're already losing 40 horsepower there, which means you're probably losing even more torque than that. So anyway, that's what we learned. And we'll go from there. We're gonna do it on boost. This car's gonna get an A&A kit, and we'll go from there. But if you're NA, there you go. All right, guys. Well, that does it for this round of testing that we did of the BTR Equalizer 3 intake versus my ported, my race port LS3 intake with my radius rods in them. As you saw, the car with the BTR intake lost over 40 horsepower. I think it's 44 horsepower in the mid-range. And it lost everywhere. It made the same at peak at 6,800 RPM. They both made 503 horsepower, but the BTR lost everywhere else. So the same car with both intakes, probably would have lost by half a car or so on that one. It's a big loss, man. 40 horsepower. So I'm imagining that it lost at least the same amount of torque. So that sucks, man, because I really like the BTR intake. I like how it looks. I have one. Not on my car, but I have one. And second, I'm also kind of excited. I'm happy to see how my ported intake is performing. So bittersweet, Now the next step for this car is a Pro Charger. So obviously when you're forcing air in there, he might not miss those 40 horsepower. And later on, they'll probably be in a few months, we'll do another test and have it on the dyno where we'll have that intake, supercharged and see how it does. But anyway, that's it for now. C6 with ported heads, stage 4 BTR cam, and the Equalizer 3 intake. 503 real horsepower, but lost a lot of power to the stock ported intake. So this was a learning experience. There was a learning curve, learning how to install it in the car and do all of that. But so we got something out of it. Anytime you learn something, it's worth it. Customer's happy still. The car makes a lot of power. The car's still fast. It sounds mean. And like I said, he's gonna go supercharged anyway. So he's happy with the looks, with the performance. It sounds mean. Stock Z06 muffler. So he's happy with it because he's gonna make more power.